You are refreshed. Now what?
Thank you for the lovely lunch. I think it was the conversation we had before that made the food taste that much better. And
we've prepared it ourselves.
And I had a lovely piece of cheesecake that had absolutely no calories in it. It was the perfect food that my body needed. So.
Well, there's a lot of problem there to discuss, but let's move on.
I was here the last time.
If only words could make it solved.
Well, I feel like I'm living it, so it doesn't matter what you think.
In which case, there would have been no comment about the number of calories.
That's one for you. I'm really here to thank you. I had the opportunity to ask a question, and the last time, and I did meet someone 29 days after we had this meeting. So that sort of falls in that you can change the circumstances of your life in 30 days. And it was...
Perhaps we should say a week.
I probably wouldn't...
Why not push it to the very last possible... You came to thank us, and all we are is trouble to you.
No, quite the contrary. I mean... I have your website on my computer, and I abbreviated you AH, which was which is relief. And so every time I think of you...
It's much better than that other thing.
Abraham Hicks was too much to type out. So... So I'm really here just to thank you
and to provide comic relief for millions. We are appreciating your appreciation, and we can feel the clarity of your being. And it is always exhilarating to us to see you recognizing the vibrational alignment that you have struck. And we celebrate with you in an extra strong way when you deliberately lined up. You achieved results that you were reaching for. You acknowledged the effort that you made, and more important, the alignment that you found. Life is supposed to be fun like that. And once you get this recipe consciously in place, then you can keep applying it again and again for the never-ending stream of intentions that will constantly be born within you. It's very good.
Yeah. How do I explain you to the person that I met? Do I just give him the CD? Because he's noticed, and he's amazed that there are so many synchronicities. And it was, as you said, that when we met, he came into my experience very quickly. I came into his. There was no moment of hesitation. And I'd really love to be able to just give him the CD, but
Well, this is a little bit like no problem with the cheesecake, except I know exactly how many calories are in it. And it's a little bit the same thing. In other words, I have found this recipe for well-being, but the details of it are a little hard to explain. And we're going to tease with you a little bit in the same way as with the cheesecake, that if it feels that we need explaining, then you're not quite where you really want to be relative to us. In other words, we loved it when you said it. You didn't really mean it, but we loved it when you said it. You almost meant it, but we loved it when you said it, but you didn't really mean it. I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter what you think. I know what I know, and it doesn't matter what you think. And that's the way we want you to feel relative to everyone, even if they are your lover. In other words, I don't care what you think. Now that sounds odd, doesn't it? I love you, I devote my life to you, I want to be with you forever, but I don't care what you think. Because most lovers think that when you say I love you, what you're saying is I love you and I care infinitely what you think, and I will twist my mind and my being in every possible way to make your path smoother. And so our message, we can see why you'd sort of want to explain it to someone, because our message really is I love you very much and I don't care what you think. And in relationship to how I care what the source within me thinks. In other words, so here's a mild way you could present it to someone that you care about. You could say, it is my promise to you that I will never hold you responsible for the way I feel. That's one way of explaining us to your lover.
Okay.
Here's another way. My happiness is dependent only upon me and my relationship with Source, and therefore you're off the hook on all of the normal relationship things. Another thing you could say is, I believe and live or strive to live in an attitude of unconditional love, which means it is my vow to myself more than to you, but to myself and to you, that I will love you unconditionally, no matter what. Ooh, what a reign of freedom that allows. In other words, that's saying I can stay connected to Source because I practiced myself in alignment to find you. I can certainly practice myself in alignment to continue my relationship with you.
That's a good place to be.
What a nice head start you already have on that one. In other words, I had to line up for you to flow in. And then the next thing that's got to say to you, and this is the thing we really want you to acknowledge that you know. If I lined up with Source, and as a result of that attracted you, then no worries about you not being ready for me. Because if you weren't ready for me, my aligning with Source would have held you apart, not brought you here.
And that's why I came the last time, because that's really where I was. And I think it's so much better now that I've lined up with Source, so the person that's in my life is going to be easy, rather than bringing the person in and trying to make him be what I want him to be.
Oh, it's so much better. Now, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, about letting your emotions guide you. Right. When you allow law of attraction to bring your matches together by paying attention to the way you feel, then you don't have to go back and rework your matches. Right. When you're matching up based upon intellectual things, there's too much for you to consider. But when you align so that you feel good, and then law of attraction brings your matches, they're matches.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back and rework them.
It's like magic.
There's no buyer's remorse when you come into alignment first.
Right. Okay. One other quick question. The gentleman that had the problem with his throat, or the condition with his throat, and it was because it was a communication issue
because
that he was having.
Doesn't believe that he can be heard. Okay. He doesn't believe that the people who he wants with every fiber of his being to hear him can hear him. So he can't speak loud enough. He can't get enough volume or energy in his projection. And of course, it isn't about what he's saying, it's about what they're hearing. It's like barking up the wrong tree. It's like looking for love in all the wrong places.
So as that manifested that way, and you were saying how if somebody's in despair, something else manifests. There's a book that was written, You Can Heal Your Life, and in it there was a section that sort of said, well, if you have an earache, this is what your issues are, and if your foot aches, this is what your issues are. And I was just wondering how much validity there really was to it. Some of it does make sense.
It's on the right track, but no one can ever write a book that precisely applies to everyone.
Right. So you have your own symbols?
Because there are not, yes, and there are your emotions.
Right.
Because there are not two vibrational proximities. In other words, think about the variables here. You are uniquely source energy here in this physical body. Your life has caused you to uniquely carve out a vibrational escrow or a vibrational reality. You are uniquely living your experience here and now, and all of those combinations make a unique vibrational combination for you. But you can get in the ballpark with it, you see. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Again.
Yes, indeed. What about that vibrational chart? What about figuring out where your set point is? Would you like someone to map it out for you? To say, here's the chart and here are the emotions. And if you hang around here, this is what you can expect in traffic. This is what you can expect in prosperity. This is what you can expect in love relationships. This is what you can expect in bodily conditions. This is what you can expect. Would that be helpful? It would be. It would be. We mapped it out for Esther the other day, and as she looked at it, she said, whoa, that's very interesting. Do you really need a chart, or do your emotions tell you? A chart might be helpful. We'll write it down for you. Hi.